Hello, my guys. Welcome back to Spill the Tea with Helen. How are you guys doing? Let me know. So, the internet can't seem to get enough of Nara Smith. She has been branded as the ideal wife and mother by her fans, while the haters, the trolls, see her as this unrealistic tradwife who is trying to initiate women into the bondage of being stuck at home and in the kitchen. Now, if there is one thing Nara Smith is known for, it is cooking everything from scratch. And we were thinking that this everything would end with food, but apparently we were wrong. So if you have a degree in pharmacy or chemistry or something like that, please move aside because Nara Smith does not need your degree to make her own drugs from scratch.
Morning, my toddlers woke up with a cough and a little bit of a sore throat, and I don't usually keep cough drops or traditional medicine in the house, so let's make some. Wanted to make lemon ginger and elderberry cough drops. I poured some honey into my pot and then moved on to peeling my ginger. Didn't want to use too much ginger because I didn't want it to be too spicy for them, so I just eyeballed it and then also added some elderberry and about half a lemon. You can definitely adjust this to whatever you want to do. After I added all my ingredients to my honey, I gave it a good stir and boiled it on the stove until it reached about 300 degrees Fahrenheit. In the meantime, I prepped my mold. Once my honey was hot enough and reached the hard crack stage, I spooned it into my mold. I had to work quickly because towards the end, my honey began to thicken. Popped those in the fridge to harden quicker, and then when they were cooled off, I popped them out of their molds. I laid them on some arrowroot powder to prevent them from sticking, but you can also use cornstarch or powdered sugar. These were so soothing.
Okay, let's pretend that we don't find it a little bit weird that a mother of 2 toddlers and a newly born baby is saying that she doesn't have any drugs at home. And let's just talk about whether or not Nara Smith deserves all the hate that's constantly showing up in her comments section. Now, as a person who is not famous or anywhere near the top 50 or even top 70 of the richest people of the world, in fact, I don't even think I'm close to the 90% of the richest people of the world. So as somebody in that situation, I would take Nara Smith's videos about her life as just for entertainment purposes, to be honest, because I know the comforts and privileges that come with being rich and famous. Come on now. We all see it on TV, on social media, and even our rich neighbors. For those of us who have rich neighbors, we see that the kind of life that they live is vastly different from the type that we live. So it is obvious that a lot of things go on behind the scenes to make it possible for Nara Smith to make these videos. Because honestly, I don't think that she left her kids unsupervised for hours while she made cereal from scratch.
This morning, my toddlers requested some cornflakes for breakfast, but I don't usually keep those in the house, so I just decided to make them. I combined some cornmeal, corn flour, and a tablespoon of coconut sugar with some water until it was batter-like consistency. I then lined my baking tray with some parchment paper before pouring my mixture onto it. I made sure to spread it as thin as I could. The thinner you get this batter, the crispier your cornflakes will turn out. And I popped it in the oven for about 15 minutes before pulling it back out and breaking up my pieces. At this point, it's still very soft, so it's easy to rip everything apart and get it into the shape and the size that you want. Once I was done ripping all of them up, I popped it back in the oven for about 50 minutes to an hour at a very low temperature. Once they were all cooled down and crispy, I poured my toddlers some cereal into their bowls. Today was a day that they wanted milk with their cereal, so I poured some milk on top, and their breakfast was done. I've been on a real cornflake kick lately, so this is very exciting for them.
I mean, her life does not represent the lives of people like you and I. I may not have given birth to any kids of my own yet, but I have 2 baby brothers who are twins. They are just 10 years old. And I know what my mom and us, their older siblings, went through when the twins were born. So no way on earth and in all the galaxies will I ever believe that a mother with a newborn baby was able to get enough sleep, take care of the baby, bathe, dress up in iconic fashion outfit, and get all dolled up just to make chewing gum from scratch.
My sister's in town to visit, and she's been craving bubblegum so bad, but she ran out, so I just decided to make it for her. I poured some powdered sugar on some wax paper and created a well before combining my gum base with some corn syrup and slowly melting it down. Once that was all melted, I gave it a good stir and poured it into my little powdered sugar wells I created. One of her favorite flavors is green apple, so I made a green apple one, and then also experimented with making a cinnamon vanilla gum. Once the mixture was cold enough to handle, I kneaded it and then stretched it out and made sure to always have it covered in the powdered sugar so it wouldn't stick. Then I rolled out my gum, cut it into equal pieces, and decided to go for a little gum ball. Once all the green apple ones were formed, I moved on to my cinnamon vanilla ones and set them aside before tossing them in some more powdered sugar. To keep them fresh, I placed them in some wax paper, twisted the sides, and repeated that process with all of them. And then they were ready to try. These tasted even better than store-bought gum, and she was so excited. The cinnamon vanilla ones tasted like a donut. That was very...
You know how you watch those superhero movies, where you are in awe of them, and even though you are a full-grown, bill-paying adult, you still secretly wished you had a superpower? Or those rich guy, poor girl Korean drama you watched that made you start looking for your own Gujunpyo in the eyes of your innocent male colleagues. You know that you most likely never have any of those lives you see on TV, Abby. And although you secretly want that kind of life, you have made peace with the fact that you will not have it, right? Yes, that's exactly how you should approach Nara Smith's videos. And that's the reason I will never understand the people who are in our comment section screaming their heads off that she's making motherhood and wifehood look unrealistically easy and so aesthetic and everything. The lady is a content creator. Content creator. And one thing about content creation is that when a creator finds something that triggers the public online, whether positively or negatively, they lean into that type of content and begin to create more and more of it, making it more dramatic and controversial as they possibly can, because your attention, whether negative attention or positive attention, will earn them money. The algorithm is not a respecter of persons. It doesn't care whether you don't like the creator or not. As long as you watch their videos, you earn them money. And that's what Nara Smith wants because she's a content creator. And this particular fact debunks the message these tradwives are trying to pass across to us online. The crux of the tradwife message is basically that men should be the providers while women should stay at home and tend to the home and the kids and everything.
We live in a day and age where traditional homemaking has been forgotten about and even looked down on. Where women are fighting to be in the same positions as men, indoctrinated to focus more on their careers and less on the home. When God created men and women more than just biologically different, our roles are meant to complement each other, not to compete. Our husbands are to be the breadwinners as we are to be the bread makers. Somewhere along the line, feminine has been replaced with feminism with the sole purpose of keeping women out of the home, which forces those to rely on the government to teach and raise our children. Marriage is falling apart because the God who created it is being left out of it. And an overall disconnect in the home because the one created to nurture it has been empowered to neglect it.
But if these tradwives are making money off of the millions of views they get per video, are they truly living the message they preach, or is this whole thing just a facade? I come to think of it, Nara Smith never claimed to be a tradwife herself. People just attach this label to her because she has one of the qualities of the tradwife, which is cooking, and cooking a lot from scratch. But this lady is a very well-known model, and her social media page even advertises ads sometimes for brands. Like just this year alone, she has had a lot of partnerships with brands. So she's most definitely not a tradwife. She's not depending on only her husband's income. She makes a lot of money herself. And you see those other tradwives who have their social media accounts monetized, they are not tradwives as well. They are making money as influencers, as tradwife influencers. And the famous rich model who also got married to another famous rich model is not the standard by which you should measure your life by, trust me. Because this money and fame makes a lot of things easier, like hiring a nanny to take care of your kids, affording to work from home because you can just be an influencer and post a single video of living your daily life and literally get a lot of views from it, and even afford to buy expensive skincare and makeup to hide your stress lines or whatever on your face. So you that is now watching this and you're a hardworking wife and mom who has to handle a 9-to-5 job that only pays you minimum wage, while catering to your family yourself, how do you think you have the same kind of life as Nara Smith? Nara Smith is that rich Korean guy in that K-drama movie that you will most likely never meet, and the mind-controlling, weather-altering, laser-eyes Marvel superhero you will most likely never be. So please just enjoy her content and live vicariously through her if you want to. Her life is purely unrealistic, that's the truth. And honestly, the reason people watch her is because of that. Nobody wants to see something that is ordinary. So if God wills, you can attain that level of living in the future, but whether it comes or not, be content in knowing that you are not doing life wrong. And Nara Smith is not the standard, but the exception. And even she's not even doing life wrong either. She's just living the life that she can sustain. So you live the life that you can sustain. And don't beat yourself up too much because you saw a young woman who just gave birth a few days or a few weeks ago and she's already up, dressed, and with her makeup intact, cooking from scratch. Not everybody can be like that. And let's just be comfortable knowing that. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons if my content is your cup of tea. And let me know what you think of the tradwife movement in the comments section below. You're also invited to check out my other videos too. And until I see you in my next video, take care and bye-bye.